So, Mr. Aman, you've been closely associated with the Congress party for quite some time now. And my first question is addressing the elephant in the room. What is happening at the moment in Himachal Pradesh is a sort of crisis, which at least what the observers would like to call it. And this comes days after senior leader Ashok Chavan left the Congress camp. And before that, also, we had someone like Milind Devra changing his party. Is this officially a situation where we can term it as a crisis for the Congress party at the moment?
Thanks, Anuj, for having me. I think the answer to that question is very clear. In the past 10 years, we've seen increasingly such things happen, and the media very happily writing the death of the Congress party. But we have continue to win elections left, right, and center, whether it is at the state level or whether it is also considerably still playing the role of the opposition at the national level. And I don't think we've seen an alternative arise either. Uh, and therefore, I think that even these are just minor shocks in the larger scheme of things. And I also think it's not enough to just see this as somebody leaving the Congress, but also understand the reasons for their departure. And
Okay.
what are the motivations for this? And I think the motivations are clear. It's basically a money game at the end of the day, where it is the BJP utilizing the force of both their monetary power as well as the power of the agencies. They have a trusted ally in this entire regime of the ICE, which is the IT, the CBI, and the ED. They are the trusted opposition partners of the trusted allies of the BJP, and they are effective in initiating actions against anybody who they require. And I think that's exactly what's happening in these states as well.
Okay. What Talking electorally, what observers have also noticed is that the two major political forces in the country have found a little bit of difficulty in making inroads in certain parts of the country. For example, the BJP has traditionally found it difficult to make inroads in the southern part of the country, and especially after the defeat in Karnataka earlier in 2023. But similarly, of late, Congress has found it difficult to make inroads in the Hindi heartland. The major upset in the three Hindi heartland states in the recent elections was a testimony of that. What rationale would you like to put behind it?
First of all, at the outset, I think it's important to. I agree the division of North and South exists, but I think it's better that we look at India as a whole. And that's something
Okay.
the Congress Party has always believed in. And I think that it is an entire polity in itself, it's an entire society. It is very integrated in the past 70 years. And we shouldn't be having this North South divide. On the second aspect, I completely disagree with the Congress. In fact, has been in the ascent in the North as well. I am talking not in terms of vote, in terms of seats, but if you look at the vote share percentage, the has consistently been able to match up with the BJP or slightly around the same mark. If you look at the vote share percentage, even in the recently held state elections, in states like, for example, if I'm not wrong, in Rajasthan, we increased our vote share by 1%. But because of the effect of the first past the post system, we have ended up losing out on the seats and therefore in the government. But otherwise, the share and therefore the public approval of the Congress in the North continues to remain. And that is something that has always been there throughout. And similarly, if you compare the BJP in the South, they have consistently failed to reach anywhere close to what the Congress has, apart from states like Karnataka. A state like Telangana, where they were at the ascent apparently and were poised to form the government if you would have asked people in 2022, they were routed and they have fallen well short of what people's expectations were. And we expect the same to happen in the case of the Lok Sabha elections and whatever gains they made in states like Telangana or West Bengal, they will be routed in those states when it comes to the Lok Sabha elections.
Okay. Talking about BJP's efforts in trying to make inroads in the south, a trend that we've noticed, especially by sitting here in Chennai, is that just earlier this year, just before the Pran Pratishthan of the Ram Temple on 22nd of January, Prime Minister Modi was making repeated visits to several cultural and traditional towns of Tamil Nadu. And that gave rise to rumors that his second constituency this time, might end up being Tamil Nadu, a region in south, which would potentially give BJP a momentum leading up to the 2024 elections. If that happens, what currently is just rumors, but if it in any ways comes out to be true, how do you see that changing narratives of this entire BJP being weaker in the South debate?
I think it's a very interesting question you asked, and I think the rumors, from what I hear, also are pretty similar. And I think the chances of that happening are likely. But I think it's not going to have any impact because Tamil Nadu is a state which prides itself on its identity of being very away from caste politics. It is the home of Dravidian politics. It is the home of several movements that highlight Tamil pride. And I think that is something we should celebrate and accept. And it'd be interesting to see Modi ji deal with that sort of a motive in the south. Especially Tamil Nadu is a state which you must remember has repeatedly had a go back Modi stance. Whether it is any small event that he attends, there's always a trend that goes on Twitter, not for a day, but for continuously for several days.
Bharat Nyay Jodo Yatra is underway at the moment. And one perception of the Yatra is that the first Yatra, as it took place last year, was, took the entire country by a surprise by the amount of popularity it got, even after not getting enough coverage, as was the criticism of the Congress party by the mainstream media, the so called mainstream media. Uh, Now, a perception about the second Bharat Jodo Yatra is that many people are questioning the timing of it. Right? We also had a recent interview of Prashant Kishore where he talked that a leader of Rahul Gandhi's state should probably have been in Delhi at the moment, sharing space with Kharge, planning details and making sure that the seat arrangement is going good leading up to the 2024 elections. But we see him start his yatra from a pretty difficult terrain. So how do you look at the perception of the second edition of the Bharat Jodo Yatra?
So I think people always have good comments to make about what people are doing and always have good suggestions. Similarly, if Rahul Gandhi was involved with Kharge ji in the seat sharing agreements or anything such, we'll say why is the leader of the party not allowing the president who was elected, the only such president to be elected to be allowed to be given a free hand in what decisions he makes? It will be conferred as being interference in the affairs of the party of a leader. So similarly, I think everybody has their role cut out in the party. Rahul Gandhi took up his role that he had of being the public face of the party in terms of making an outreach to the public. And I think he has successfully done that. And as far as starting the yatra on a difficult terrain, it was in fact Manipur that he started off the yatra from.
Yes,
And
yes.
again, once again, show the commitment of the Congress party to reach out to every single corner of the country. And when the Prime Minister has refused to visit, has refused to even talk about Manipur openly, except for one small statement he made before Parliament session, we have a leader who has gone outright there and said, this is what is happening in our country. So I think that itself is what shows the effect of the Yatra in terms of even where it is, even though it is a difficult terrain, or whether it is the entire Yatra's route, it's passing through most states where the Congress is not in power. But yet we took it up as a challenge. We faced severe opposition, whether it is in Assam, whether state machinery was used against the Yatra, but yet the Yatra persevered on.
As a follow-up to that would also be a point that Yatra in several cities, several regions of Uttar Pradesh had to be cancelled. The Congress party officially came out and said that, oh, it was the logistical reasons for it being cut out. But was there anything more to it than just the logistical issues in the Yatra being cut short from several points?
I think, Anuj, I know as much as you do about what's happening at the senior level of the party, but I think it's as simple as being that the elections are coming closer. There will be a prioritization that will happen once the elections kick in. And also, I think at the same time, the Yatra will still complete the goals it set out to achieve. Whether it is in achieving the number of states that it wants to achieve, we still complete all the states that we wanted to reach out to.
What is going to be that one agenda point of the Congress party leading up to the 2024 Lok Sabha elections?
So I think the Congress party has made it very clear that our focus is on the Nyay, in the sense that this is about Nyay, this is about justice. And it's about removing all the anyayas that the central government under the BJP and under Modi have come up with. This covers multiple aspects. This includes the job crisis. So therefore, Yuva Se Anyay is another key aspect that the Modi government has pitched, wherein they have conducted the Agni Veer Agnipad scheme, wherein youth who've been waiting for years have been denied the chance to be part of the army. Second of all, we have the unemployment crisis the country is going through. The 2 crore jobs that Modi ji promised are nowhere to be seen, and that is something that we should be asking for. On the second front, when you look at the economic injustice that has been laid on the people of India, we have rising prices and inflation. A government which said they would be giving us petrol and diesel at 40 rupees has now touched the sky at 100 and 100, crossing 100. LPG cylinders, which was supposed to be given at 400 or 500 rupees under the Modi government, have now crossed 1,000 rupees. So I feel that is the economic injustice angle that we're looking at. Third of all, we're looking at the aspect of communal injustice and communal disharmony that is being propagated by the government. And that is an anyay that we are seeing against the OBCs, the minorities, and the Dalits that we are seeing happen on a day-to-day basis. So it's the Congress just providing a counter vision to all these anyayas, and that's what we're arguing about.
All right, Aman. It was great talking to you about the state of the Congress Party and getting updates from someone who works so closely with the party machinery. I would hope to catch up with you once again, just leading up to the elections, to get more updates from you, so that it'll be good to catch up and have conversation about the preparation of the Congress Party just days before the elections.
Looking forward, Anuj. My pleasure to be you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your time, Aman. I'll see you later.